K9 dog wouldn't stop barking at a woman carrying a baby. The truth behind it stunned the entire terminal. She wasn't shouting. She wasn't running. Just a well-dressed woman cradling a sleeping baby through a crowded airport. So why did the service dog go wild? Why did he block her path, growl, and refuse to back down, even when everyone told him to stop? What did he see that no one else did? What they uncovered next at the Bozeman airport left every traveler frozen in disbelief. Would you have trusted the dog or the mother? Outside the glass panels of Gallatin Field Airport in Bozeman, Montana, a curtain of late winter snow was drifting gently across the tarmac. The sky was the color of faded denim, and the chill that hung in the air gave a brittle edge to every breath. Inside the terminal, however, the atmosphere was anything but calm. Weather delays had pushed travelers into crowded lines, voices strained with frustration, and the scent of burned coffee mingled with the acrid tang of de-icer clinging to boots. The clock above Gate 4 blinked 2:13 p.m. Officer Olivia Barnes adjusted the brim of her navy blue patrol cap and gently tugged on the leash of her K9 partner, Ranger. Ranger, a 5-year-old male German Shepherd, was the kind of dog that turned heads. His coat shimmered with shades of black and russet, meticulously groomed. His gait was disciplined but fluid, muscles tense beneath the fur. But what truly distinguished Ranger wasn't his appearance. It was his story. He had once been found as a pup in the wreckage of a trailer fire outside Missoula, guarding the body of an elderly woman who had perished in the flames. He'd refused to leave her side for 2 full days until fire crews could get him out. That trauma had embedded a kind of sixth sense in him, particularly toward children and the vulnerable. It was what led to his selection for a rare training program in behavioral threat detection. Unlike bomb or drug dogs, Ranger specialized in people. Beside him walked Officer Olivia Barnes, a woman in her late 30s with tightly pinned auburn hair and a lean, athletic build. Her eyes, a sharp shade of green, scanned the terminal with the habit of someone who never let herself be fully off duty. Olivia had served 12 years in law enforcement, most of it in urban patrol units. But after a deeply personal incident, her niece going missing and being found days later, thankfully alive, Olivia had requested to join the K9 unit. Her bond with Ranger had grown from shared trauma into a partnership that often felt wordless. They were nearing the baggage claim area when Ranger suddenly slowed. His ears pricked forward, his posture no longer relaxed but rigid, coiled with restrained energy. Olivia paused, following his gaze. 20 feet ahead, a woman in a tailored gray coat was gliding past a crowded seating area. She appeared to be in her early 30s, tall, with sleek black hair tied back into a low bun. Her makeup was immaculate, and her scarf bore the distinct pattern of an expensive designer brand. She held a baby in her arms, maybe 1 year old, perhaps younger. The child was bundled in a soft blue blanket, head resting motionless on her shoulder. Ranger gave a low, questioning whine. "What is it, buddy?" Olivia murmured, watching him closely. The dog's head tilted, then his stance shifted, ears pinned, tail straight, eyes locked on the woman and her infant. The whine turned into a low growl. Olivia stiffened. Ranger rarely growled. He was trained to signal subtly. He only escalated if something was wrong, deeply wrong. She stepped forward, voice calm but authoritative. "Ma'am, may I speak with you for a moment?" The woman turned, startled. Up close, her features were refined, her skin pale but unblemished. Her eyes, ice blue, were wide, but she kept her expression neutral. "Yes," she said politely, cradling the baby closer to her chest. I'm Officer Barnes, Bozeman, K9 unit. My partner here is indicating some concern. Would you mind telling me your destination and showing your boarding pass?" The woman hesitated just briefly. "Of course. I'm flying to Denver, American Airlines. My name's Vanessa Reed." Ranger barked, loud and clear, once, then again. People turned, phones came out. Olivia's jaw clenched. "Ranger, quiet," she said, though her voice lacked conviction. Deep down, she trusted him. The baby hadn't stirred once, not at the barking, not at the shift in movement. Olivia's heart dropped slightly. "You said Denver," she asked. "Yes," Vanessa answered smoothly. Olivia nodded slowly. "Strange. I was just told American canceled all outgoing flights to Denver 2 hours ago due to the snowstorm." Vanessa blinked. "Oh, I meant United. I'm a little frazzled. It's been a long morning." Ranger let out another growl, this time lower, vibrating deep in his chest. The baby was still motionless, too motionless. Just as Olivia was about to speak, her radio crackled. She lifted it to her ear. The dispatcher's voice was calm but urgent. "Officer Barnes, we have a bolo from Belgrade PD. Missing child, male, 2 years old, last seen with a woman matching the description you requested earlier. Possible abduction. Proceed with caution." Olivia's heart kicked against her ribs. She looked again at the child. Blue blanket, soft brown curls. She glanced up at the woman, now shifting on her feet. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to come with me for a few additional questions." Vanessa's voice went cold. "I don't see the need. I've done nothing wrong. My baby is sleeping. We're catching a flight." Ranger stepped forward. His entire body was taut, eyes focused not on Vanessa, but on the child. The woman backed up a step. "You can't just accuse me," she snapped, her tone rising. "Please," Olivia said, her voice still even. "For the baby's safety, I'm asking for cooperation." Just then, a woman entered the terminal from the south entrance. She was in her late 60s, gray curls tucked beneath a wool hat, cheeks flushed from the cold. Her name was Eleanor Moore. She'd driven from Belgrade the moment she saw the photo in the anonymous message. She clutched a folder with laminated photos and medical records. When Eleanor saw the baby, she dropped the folder. "Toby," she whispered. "Oh my God, Toby." Vanessa turned sharply, eyes wide. Olivia instinctively stepped between them. Ranger barked once more, louder than ever, and stood protectively in front of the child. It was all happening at once. Olivia raised her voice over the confusion. "Everyone step back. This is a law enforcement situation." Vanessa froze, clinging to the baby. Ranger didn't move. His body blocked her path entirely. And in that moment, Olivia knew, whatever this woman had done, wherever she was trying to go, Ranger had stopped it just in time. The hum of the airport faded into a strange silence as Olivia guided the woman who had identified herself as Vanessa Reed toward a quieter seating area near the administrative gate entrance. The tension around them, though, muted by the soft murmur of travel announcements and distant footfalls, remained thick-drawn tight by the steel thread of uncertainty. Ranger walked slightly ahead, body rigid, his tail held low and stiff. His every movement was alert, calculated as if measuring the invisible weight of the air between the woman and the child in her arms. Vanessa sat slowly adjusting the baby, who remained limp and unmoving beneath a fluffy blue blanket. Olivia noted again the troubling stillness. No shift of tiny legs, no stir of breath visible at the blanket's edge. Most children would fidget even if asleep, but this one might as well have been carved in wax. Olivia crouched beside the stroller-turned seat, her voice calm but firm. "Ma'am, could I see some identification, please? Yours and the child's." Vanessa hesitated. "I told you we're flying to Denver. My ID is in my bag. The baby's papers are packed in our checked luggage. You can understand, I hope Olivia said, maintaining even eye contact given the alert we received. I need to confirm your identity and the child's." Vanessa opened her designer handbag with a sigh that was equal parts irritation and feigned calm. Her fingers, despite their elegance manicured with pale pink polish, trembled ever so slightly. She produced a leather wallet and pulled out a driver's license. Olivia took it, examining the details. Vanessa Reed, Montana issue. 14 months old. Too clean. The edges weren't frayed, the surface unworn. Either this woman took immaculate care of her cards, or it wasn't used often. You said you were flying American Airlines, Olivia added casually. Yes. Well, United, actually. I got confused. It's been a long day. You also mentioned your husband is meeting you. What's his name? Vanessa blinked. David. David Reed. And where is he waiting? In Chicago. O'Hare. But Olivia had already caught the stumble the half-second too long it took to answer. Before she could press further, Ranger let out a low huff and repositioned himself. His body turned just slightly so that his eyes could stay locked on the baby. Just then, the overhead speakers chimed. Olivia's radio crackled again. Unit 12, be advised, woman named Eleanor Moore is approaching Checkpoint 5. Claims visual confirmation on child-matching bolo from Belgrade. Elderly, white female, gray coat, dark boots. Olivia rose from her crouch and nodded to another officer stationed at a distance. Bring her here. The woman who entered moments later had a look of hollow exhaustion carved deep into the lines of her face. Eleanor Moore was in her late 60s, short and slightly stooped from years of working in Montana's harsh winters. Her eyes, though, were sharp, burning with a pain only someone who has searched too long can carry. Her gray hair curled naturally around her face and her cheeks were wind-chapped and raw. She clutched a folder close to her chest. The moment she laid eyes on the child, her knees buckled slightly. "That's him," she whispered, her voice cracking. "That's my grandson. That's Toby." Vanessa's face paled. "I don't know who this woman is. This is my baby." Eleanor stepped forward, tears pooling fast. "He has a scar behind his left ear, from the dog bite when he fell into the garden at 14 months. Olivia's gaze hardened. "Ma'am," she said, addressing Vanessa, "can I check for that identifying mark?" "No." Vanessa clutched the child tighter. "You're scaring him. He's sensitive. We just got him to sleep." Ranger moved slowly but with unmistakable intent and stood directly between Vanessa and the rest of the room. His posture was no longer cautious, it was protective. "Not of Vanessa, but of the child," Ma'am Olivia said again, firmer this time. "Please let me see the child." Vanessa's eyes darted toward the exit. "Do not run," Olivia warned. "I will stop you. My dog will stop you." For one tense second, everything hung in a frozen moment. Then Ranger gave a soft, almost mournful whine, the kind he'd been trained to signal when a child was in distress. Olivia took a step forward, slowly reached for the blanket and gently pulled it back. The baby's face was beautiful. Brown curls, round cheeks, but pale, unnaturally so. Olivia pressed 2 fingers gently against the child's wrist. Faint pulse, breathing shallow, sedated. She lifted her eyes to Vanessa. "What did you give him?" Vanessa swallowed. "Nothing harmful, just something to help him sleep." "What did you give him?" Olivia repeated, voice sharp now. "Children's Benadryl," she admitted, panicked. "I didn't want him to cry. It was a long trip. I didn't want to scare him." Eleanor gasped. "Toby! My God!" Olivia signaled a paramedic nearby. "Medical check. Now!" As EMTs approached, Vanessa tried to stand, but Ranger took a step forward, barring her movement with nothing more than his presence. His eyes remained fixed on her face. Tail-stiff ears pointed forward in exact symmetry. His body a barrier. A silent guardian. The paramedic, a calm and focused man in his 40s named Josh Grady, knelt beside the baby. Josh was tall and lean, with silver-threaded hair and a weather-worn look, the kind that came from years working under pressure. His voice was low and comforting as he checked the baby's vitals. Low respiratory rate, pupils slow to respond. "We need to get him to the ER for a tox screen and evaluation." Is he okay?" Eleanor whispered, hand clutched to her chest. "We got to him in time." Josh nodded, but it was close. As the EMTs prepared the stretcher, Olivia turned to the officer on backup. "Place Vanessa Rachel, whoever she is, in custody. We'll sort the identity at the station." Vanessa didn't resist. The fight had drained out of her. She looked not like a mother, but a woman unraveling. Olivia crouched next to Ranger and whispered into his ear. "You saw it before any of us, didn't you?" The dog leaned gently into her shoulder. The wind outside Gallatin Field howled louder now, as if the storm itself was trying to press its way into the airport's warm, humming halls. Snow flurried against the tall glass panes of the waiting area, obscuring the world outside in a veil of white. Inside the terminal, tension no longer floated. It thickened, surrounded Officer Olivia Barnes, like a fog she had walked into too many times in her career. Ranger's low whine still echoed in her ears. The child, Toby, was in the care of paramedics now carefully monitored in the ambulance just beyond the gate entrance. Ranger stood by the sliding doors, posture forward, ears alert as if his work wasn't finished. Olivia trusted that look. It wasn't one of closure. It was a signal. There was more beneath the surface, something unsaid that Ranger's instincts had already touched. Inside the security office, Rachel Dwyer, formerly Vanessa Reed, sat slumped in a plastic chair. Her once pristine coat was unbuttoned, revealing a silk blouse wrinkled from stress. Her hair, which had been neatly pinned back earlier, now hung in damp strands around her face. Her mascara had smudged, trailing along her cheekbones like shadows of who she pretended to be. She refused to speak, arms crossed tightly, eyes darting to the window. Olivia stood just outside, hands on her hips, speaking with Deputy Thomas Harlan, a tall, broad-shouldered man in his early 40s, with a creased brow and deep-set brown eyes. Thomas was local to Gallatin County, a lifelong Montanan whose father had also served on the force. He was calm, quiet, but perceptive, known to most as the officer who didn't say much unless it mattered. He wore a wool-lined sheriff's coat and spoke in a slow, gravelly voice. "I just got off with Belgrade PD," he said, glancing at the glass behind which Rachel sat. "Toby Moore was reported missing 3 days ago. Mother deceased. Custody transferred to grandmother. This woman never mentioned. She's not a legal guardian, not a family friend. Nothing." Olivia nodded. She drugged the boy to keep him quiet. Something more than just desperation. Ranger's behavior wasn't just about concern, it was protective. He recognized something. Deeper. Thomas scratched his jaw. "You ever think dogs see things in people we don't?" "All the time," Olivia replied. Before Thomas could respond, another officer entered the hallway. He was younger, late 20s, thin with sharp cheekbones and a nervous energy. His name tag read Eli Sutton, a baggage handler assigned to offloading and logistics. He wore a reflective vest and carried a clipboard. He looked between the officers, unsure if he was supposed to speak. I think I might have seen that kid before Eli said." Olivia turned. "When?" "A few days ago. Maybe Tuesday morning. I was doing a transfer for a private flight. Cargo manifest had weird paperwork, sparse info. But this woman," he pointed toward the interrogation room, "she was there. And I swear she had that same kid with her. Wrapped up real tight, just like now. Wouldn't let anyone get close." Thomas stepped forward. What kind of flight was it, private charter? No listed passengers, just one handler and her. Departed came back the next day. The name on the luggage manifest was a company, Everpine Psychological Consultants. Olivia stiffened. Everpine Eli nodded. "Yeah, that's why I remember. That group runs out of a place east of town, big white building in the forest. Heard some rumors it's a therapy retreat. But folks say it's weird. People come and go at night. Locked gates. No signage." As Olivia